The wait is over as we bring you to Miami for the Dream Bowl 5, the DSFL 2020 championship between the 2015 Carolina Panthers and the 2018 Kansas City Chiefs. The Panthers shocked the world as a 6th seed to the NFC. They ran the playoff table and match up against the Chiefs, who also stunned, this time the Patriots, in the AFC Championship game last week. At head coach of the Chiefs is Andy Reid, who has struggled throughout his playoff tenure in both Philadelphia and Kansas City. Ron Rivera is 3-3 as a playoff coach with the Carolina Panthers. The Chiefs and Panthers meet for the ultimate prize of the DSFL 2020. Ted Ginn Jr. is the deep man to begin the biggest game of the year for the Dream Season Football League. Nick Rice, Phil Nunziata, and on the sideline, Hank Lewis to bring you the Chiefs and the Panthers in what should be an incredible football game. Harrison Butker will run into the football and begins the championship. It soars end over end 2 yards in the end zone and is brought out by way of Ted Ginn Jr. He returns the ball to about the 25. And to the field for the Panthers is the former first overall draft choice by way of Auburn, 2015 NFL MVP Cam Newton, whose passing numbers are just decent, but he is the best scrambling quarterback in football. 52 yards on the ground and a touchdown last week against Atlanta in the conference championship, and about 6 yards a carry this season. Phil, his rushing numbers are video game-esque. He has been fantastic.
Yeah, as you said earlier, it's not really what you do in the regular season. It's if you can get hot in the playoffs, and Cam Newton and the Panthers have done that. And for the 5th time, we're going to try and see who the greatest team in football is. Nick, I'm excited.
Yeah, Newton throws incomplete. The 2015 Panthers, very few could have even anticipated this club as a shot to win the ultimate prize. Their offense is guided by Mike Shula, their coordinator, along with Pro Bowl running back Jonathan Stewart. Meanwhile, the Chiefs' defense was brutal in 2018, led by coordinator Bob Sutton. They ranked 31st in yards allowed, but they did allow 27 turnovers throughout the course of that year, so they were very opportunistic and certainly will pin their ears back as a stout pass-rushing unit onto Cam Newton. First run of the Dream Bowl for the Panthers, Jonathan Stewart, and he races outside to the 28-yard line. The Chiefs will certainly have their hands full against Jonathan Stewart. He guided the Panthers in 2015 to an NFC record 14-game winning streak to begin the year. The Panthers fielded the best offense in football and a defense that racked up 50 takeaways that year, including 11 in the playoffs. Carolina steamrolled both Arizona and Seattle in the postseason, but lost in Santa Clara to the Broncos in Super Bowl 50 with 4 turnovers and a dozen penalties. The 5-point favored Panthers lost to Denver 24-10.
Yeah, that Panthers team, their moniker was always to keep pounding, and obviously with Jonathan Stewart in that run game, it's going to be very important if they try to come out on top today.
Cam Newton sits and then takes off and breaks a tackle from Derek Nottie and dances to the 39-yard line. A third down conversion by way of Newton. That is just the display of what makes him such a tough quarterback to stop. First down, Carolina.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Cam Newton never afraid to tuck in and run, and when you're his size, you really should. As you can see, he's shifty there. He can run past you and through you, as the Chiefs defense just learned right there.
6'5", 245 pounds. Cam Newton, good luck for the Chiefs to try and slow down somebody who was one of the best scrambling quarterbacks in NFL history for a single season. That was in 2015. Inside run to Jonathan Stewart, and he spins to the 45-yard line. The NFL MVP certainly had a great number 2 option in the backfield with Jonathan Stewart, and this year he has been sensational as the two have combined for 7 rushing touchdowns. They go up against the struggling run defense. This plays into the hands of the Panthers tonight. It should be interesting how they fare against this Kansas City front, which is a somewhat undersized defensive line in the DSFL. Newton on the 5th play of this drive dumps it off to Stewart, and he is taken down for a loss. Reggie Ragland makes the stop.
Yeah, aside from the run game, the Panthers, you're going to see a lot of quick passes there. Obviously, their outside weapons, they don't really frighten you necessarily. They do have some veterans. They got Jericho Cotchery. They got the ageless wonder Ted Ginn Jr. on the outside. But look for a lot of these out of the backfield, and the Chiefs are ready for it this time.
Reggie Ragland, the young linebacker from Alabama, sets up a 3rd down and 6 for the Panthers. 4 receivers are in the game on 3rd down. Newton looks, hit as he throws. He finds Whitaker, who spins away from the first tackler and is wrapped up by Nelson at the 49-yard line. But with the Chiefs having Anthony Hitchens hurt, the 7-yard gain gives Whitaker and the Panthers a fresh set of downs.
And as we see another check down to the running back, this time to Whitaker, the more shifty of the 2 backs that Carolina will mostly use in this game, and he was able to make a couple guys miss and just barely get to that 1st down. Let's take another look at it here.
Yeah, the Panthers would certainly be fueled on offense with those 3rd down conversions, which have been rare this year. Carolina ranks 16th in the league in 3rd downs at 33%. But they moved the sticks for 2 straight 3rd downs to begin this promising drive. They'll go ground inside to Jonathan Stewart, and off the straight arm, he is drilled at the 47-yard line by Houston. These 2 teams met earlier in the season. Back in Week 4 in Arrowhead, Patrick Mahomes had a field day against this Panthers secondary. He passed for 284 yards in the win. And with the Panthers driving to tie the game, Olsen fumbled the ball forced by Ragland, and the Chiefs recovered. Kansas City won it 20-13, and that sets the stage for the rematch of what was a thrilling football game back in Arrowhead Stadium. This time the Panthers, after that slow start, they have since rebounded winners of 4 straight games. Newton, pressured, takes off from the 50, and he slides at the 38-yard line. It's another 1st down run for Cam Newton, who has been all over this Chiefs defensive line in the 1st quarter. Derek Noddy had a shot at him and missed Cam Newton. 1st down, Carolina.
Yeah, Cam Newton here to play. It looks like he's just about down. He's able to just sidestep the Chiefs there, and he doesn't take the hit down the field. That'll be important if he's going to run around a lot in this game. Doesn't take the hit after the 1st down. He's able to slide, something Cam doesn't always do. Look for him to continue to do that to conserve his body as this game goes on.
A magnificent running so far by Cam Newton with 20 yards. He is just under 400 yards in the season. Stewart, however, is stuffed for a loss. That should be a rarity today. Ragland makes his 2nd tackle for loss of the ball game. 3 yards in the Panther backfield.
Yeah, you mentioned early on, Nick, that if the Chiefs have one weakness on their defense, it is their undersized front line. So look for guys like this to slow him down initially and have another defender come and clean him up. It's going to be a lot of double duty, a lot of gang tackles to get these Panthers on the ground.
Back at the 41-yard line, Carolina goes back to the ground. Good hold this time. And he picks up 6 as Stewart motors to the 35. Eric Murray makes the stop for Kansas City. Let's take a closer look at the numbers of Week 4. While Mahomes played well, the Panthers outgained the Chiefs on the ground 91-27. And Phil, it looks like that game plan is something they have really implemented early tonight.
Yeah, while the Panthers didn't win that Week 4 matchup, they saw enough there that they felt they could expand on that game plan and give them a good shot to win this game today.
11-play drive here for the Panthers, and on 3rd down, Newton has his pass knocked away by the young corner by way of Virginia Tech Kendall Fuller. The Panthers are denied on their 3rd down try and are forced to settle for a field goal.
And that was this close to going back the other way. See, he gets his hands on it. You got to catch that, sir. But he doesn't, and now the Panthers will attempt a field goal.
This would be the longest make of the season. He's on from 52 yards away, and his kick drifts to the right and is no good. The Panthers, with a sensational opening drive performance by Cam Newton, march with 3 first downs on the drive inside the Chiefs' 40, but they stall and come up with nothing. Despite a 4-minute-long march coming into the game, the Panthers are still scoreless. Mahomes will take the field when we come back. This is the Dream Bowl 5. Welcome back to Miami, Florida. Tonight's broadcast is presented by Vegas Pro 17.0, EA Sports, Madden NFL 20, and NBC's Sunday Night Football. We saw one MVP in Cam Newton of the Panthers. The other takes the field for the 2018 Kansas City Chiefs. One of the best quarterbacks to begin a career in franchise history, that is Patrick Mahomes. Only 3 interceptions he has thrown this year, and the Chief quarterback has been incredible late in games. 3 game-winning drives, including over the Raiders in snowy Arrowhead for the divisional playoffs. He has thrown at least a touchdown in 11 of 12 games, and against the Patriots in last week's AFC Championship game, Patrick Mahomes was phenomenal. The Panthers, despite being a top-flight defense, they still will have a tough time trying to slow down one of the best quarterbacks that we have seen in the league this year in Patrick Mahomes. Inside handoff to Hunt, and he motors for about a 4-yard gain. Davis makes the stop for Carolina. Let's take a quick look at that Chiefs offense, guided by coordinator Eric Bieniemy. All-Pro wide receiver Tyreek Hill has had a field day throughout this postseason run. Meanwhile, the Panthers are led by the league's most valuable player in Luke Kuechly, who has just been incredible this year. All-Pro cornerback Josh Norman is on that defense as well. This is the matchup that many have been hotly anticipating going into this week's game. The defense of Carolina versus the top-flight offense of the Chiefs. Slants. Hill makes the catch and picks up a first down. Mahomes has been excellent. Let's take a closer look at the Chiefs quarterback. Hank Lewis is reporting on the sideline.
Thanks, Nick. Both of these teams have spent most of the season pulling dramatic upset wins to top teams in the NFL. Very few experts believe that these two teams actually had a shot to go even this far. The same thing could be said about the man currently taking snaps for the Kansas City Chiefs in Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs quarterback has been a backup everywhere he's went, from White House High School in Tyler, Texas, to the Red Raiders of Texas Tech, and as the heir apparent to Alex Smith as a rookie in Kansas City. But once he became a starter, he shocked the world, setting team and league records everywhere he went. It will be interesting to see if he can break another dream season record tonight. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Hank. Just an incredible football team of 2018, led by their quarterback, Mahomes, who took over, as mentioned, for Alex Smith. He really took the league by storm as the Chiefs scored the 3rd most points in NFL history, over 35 points per game that year. That defense was certainly excellent in rushing the passer, and the Chiefs finished the regular season 12-4. But in the AFC Championship, after a slow start, the Patriots in overtime won the coin toss and drove 13 plays and 75 yards to win the game 37-31. Kansas City, despite not even making the Super Bowl, they had one of the greatest offenses in NFL history and a defense that was opportunistic. 3rd and 6, and Mahomes throws incomplete and may have jinxed the Chiefs quarterback as he is denied on 3rd down.
Yeah, he goes deep there, and yet another pass that could have potentially been intercepted. We're going to get another look at it here. As you can see, sometimes those passes can float a little high on Mahomes. As young as he is, that makes sense. As you can see here, he only got one hand on that. That wasn't as big of a drop as the Chiefs had earlier, but it will be a punting situation for the Chiefs.
And like you've mentioned, these defensive backs, I'm sure, have had opportunities to intercept that they did not anticipate coming into this game, between league MVP quarterbacks and offenses that have been magnificent this year. Both of these teams led the league in scoring in their respective year. As we take a look back at the former Dream Bowls in the DSFL, we look a decade ago at a game also played in Miami between the 85 Bears and the 76 Raiders. This was a series featuring the greatest teams of all time. And in the DSFL 1, Jim McMahon pushed the Bears downfield. They needed a touchdown to tie, but he commits the 5th Chicago turnover of the game, and the 76 Raiders, with John Madden and the man who wins the game, Skip Thomas, knock off the Bears 20-13.
Seems like just yesterday that Dream Bowl 1 happened. Me and you were both on the call for that. Since then, we've kind of added to our group here. Happy to have Hank with us too, but here we are, Dream Bowl 5, and it's been quite the ride.
Here's the inside run to Stewart's, and he has a foot race to the end zone. 40, 35-30. Jonathan Stewart has one to beat, and he made the stop at the 19-yard line. 61-yard gain. Fuller saved a touchdown, but Jonathan Stewart makes a big play here to begin the Dream Bowl.
Yeah, you could have drove a truck through that hole that you see get created here, and Stewart has no problem breaking through that entryway, and look at him go. Like you said, there was a touchdown-saving tackle there. It was very surprising he didn't end up in the end zone.
Yeah, Trey Turner, the pulling guard, made an incredible block of the diving Steven Nelson to allow Jonathan Stewart into the red zone untouched. Newton with a deep drop. He flips the pass short to Ted Ginn Jr., and he reels it in for a 6-yard gain. As we take a quick look at the total offense today, the Panthers have had their way on the ground, 97 yards for Carolina rushing the ball.
Yeah, Ted Ginn, like I called him earlier, the ageless wonder, usually known in his career as a return specialist, but he can get it done on the outside.
Inside run to Cameron Artis-Payne, and the rookie from Auburn loses one. Another former Auburn Tiger, D. Ford, makes the stop. Ted Ginn Jr. has had a fascinating career, and Ginn, in talking to some experts before his stint in Carolina, he thought his career might be over.
Yeah, I mean, he was a guy that had a few, quick handfuls of success in places like San Francisco. But yeah, it was a guy who really revitalized his career in 2015 with the Panthers and was a big part of helping them get to that Super Bowl.
Newton unloads to Ted Ginn, who dives and is tagged by the rookie Breeland Speaks about a yard short. And despite the excellent catch, the Panthers will be forced to settle for a field goal when we come back. First quarter is complete. This is the Dream Bowl 5.